Are we ready for our next act? Yeah. Excellent stuff. So with that love and enthusiasm, please put your hands together. Welcome to stage, Rachel Creeger.
Hello. Oh, you're so lovely. That's really, really nice. You all right? Yeah. I like to check at the beginning that you can all understand my accent, okay? Because I'm from Essex and sometimes people do struggle. Don't worry, I left there before that highbrow documentary series Towie added a bit of much needed class to the area. People get a bit judgy when I tell them that. Because I think I come out on stage and you all think to yourself, oh, she's like Axl Rose's slightly cooler younger sister. And now you've heard me speak and know where I'm from, you're like, Pound Shop John Bon Jovi, isn't she? Pound Shop John Bon Jovi. But no, I am who I am. And I'm lovely, it's lovely to be here. And you're actually very lucky to have me because I tick quite a lot of diversity boxes. I'm like an Arts Council grant, just in one person. I'm not showing off, it's a true thing. Like, for example, I'm a woman. Do you think? I've got to tell you, I had nothing to do with that. So thanks for the applause. It wasn't up to me. It wasn't up to me. And I have a disability. I'm dyslexic. It's not the Essex thing. And the third thing is, I'm an ethnic minority. Oh, who would imagine looking at me? No, I am. This is not a pirate thing. It's a Jew thing. I'm not a hoi. I'm oy vey. Very, very different things. But I'm one of the blonde ones who walks amongst you, not having an opinion on Jeremy Corbyn at all. I don't look like a stereotypical Jew, and I'm not really like a stereotypical Essex girl when you think about it. I mean, for example, there's no Ibiza tan here, is there? I'm like a sprinkle of glitter away from the cast of Twilight. I do this full time, so clearly not that interested in money. And also, we expect to be quite promiscuous, and I'm not that either. I think you can tell that I come out more Mother Teresa than Mary Magdalene. And I think that's possibly because I went through the faith education system. It's gone TED Talk, hasn't it, for a minute? You're going to be fine, you're going to be fine. Did anyone here go to a faith school? Yeah. See, listen to the sound of their voices, the trauma, the pain is still there. I hope if anyone needs therapy at the end, there'll be a phone number that comes up at the bottom. If you need any support, come and find me afterwards. We'll have a drink and a chat. It's a very weird thing, faith education, particularly for a girl when I was young, because their one job is to kind of prepare you to be a wife and a mother. But they try and do that without giving you any actual factual information that will enable that to happen. Like, you know the lesson at the end of primary school where they separate out the boys and the girls to learn about growing up? Do you remember that lesson? The boys always go with a PE teacher. I don't know why that is, but I assume that's why they always want to race to the finish line. Hashtag not all husbands, lucky me. But we went off with our teacher who was very religious and very prudish, and she thought she would explain the facts of life without the hindrance of any actual facts by telling us a personal story to make it a little bit clearer. It wasn't clearer, it was incomprehensible. It was the story of her daughter Claire and how Claire became a woman. I'm going to share it with you now. Sorry for the faith school survivors. I was in the hairdressers and I had a phone call from Claire and she said to me, Mum, I think I've become a woman. At no point did she explain what this meant in any way. Imagine us sitting there cross-legged, cross-armed, very confused. I said, Claire, that's wonderful. Do you know where the supplies are kept? Supplies? This is our first clue. Clearly, this is some kind of military operation, a survivalist situation. If she'd said menstruation, we'd have thought it was a tactical maneuver. Claire said yes, in the left-hand cupboard in the bathroom. I got anxious. There are no cupboards in our bathroom. Where would I keep the supplies should I become a woman when the apocalypse struck? The apocalypse is actually still what my brothers call my time of the month. That just gives you a little insight into where I'm coming from. Anyway, do you know where the supplies are kept? Yes, the left-hand cupboard in the bathroom. I said, Claire, that's wonderful. Now you're a woman, congratulations. That's it, that was sex education. And I sense you're quite horrified that that's the limit of what we got told. But the reason you should be horrified is that I went to a local school and Claire was just a few years above us and we all knew her. That's quite bad, isn't it? And when I go home now, occasionally I bump into her and I think, Claire, I know all about when you became a woman. I don't know what it means, but I know what happened. And then sometimes I think she's a few years older than me, so clearly heading towards the menopause a little bit faster, which will free up a bit of cupboard space, won't it, if Donald and Kim get a bit trigger happy. We'll all go around to Claire, pack in the supplies, won't we? Whatever they are. So they followed that up, and this, when I tell you this next bit, it's going to date me, and I think some of you will remember this from your own childhoods. The next thing they did, they needed to teach us about our bodies and what would happen, but they wanted to do it without communication. So they wheeled in a television on a trolley, and they showed us a film to teach us about the changes to our bodies, a film of a family of 4 playing badminton on a beach. Some people are ahead of me. Completely naked. It was quite traumatising and very hairy. That's what I mainly remember. So it's a family of 4, mother, father, brother, sister. I mean, it was their son and daughter, right? Not their brother and sister, because that is a different film that you are not allowed to show school children. Playing badminton on the beach. I became so terrified of an unwanted pregnancy that I stayed away from sand for a really long time. When clearly the seaside theme was meant to warn us of the dangers of crabs. That was something I missed. And they followed that up with a short film of a woman giving birth, filmed from the front end, which is ironic when you think about it, considering that we were too young to legally watch the film Alien, which from what I understand is exactly the same storyline. That's what I've been told. I actually asked a friend of mine, a male friend, what the boys learn in their lesson. And this is what he told me. We'll see how you feel about it. He said the teacher told them, after your wedding, of course, after your wedding, your special places will connect. It's kind of beautiful. And then 2 further bits of information. The first one being, you'll know what to do. I don't know if anyone here has ever done it for the first time, but you need slightly more guidance, I think. A little pamphlet or something. Imagine if when you went to IKEA, they sent you home with all your flat pack furniture and just assumed you'd be able to work out for yourself that panel A went into bracket B. Picture the fear on the newlywed couple's face when they've managed to muddle through their very first time, only to discover a screw left at the end and no Allen key. That would be frightening. Anyway, so there you go. You'll know what to do. Second bit of information was this. It will be spiritual. I don't know about spiritual. Certainly holy. That's a really bad joke. I'm sorry. Even I regret that joke. I went on to secondary school because this is England and they make you do that. And the school was still very anxious about this subject. I mean, a lot of religions are weird about sex before marriage, but Orthodox Judaism, we're quite competitive. We like to take things a little bit further. So we don't only have no sex before marriage. That was bad English, wasn't it? We also have no touching, like no hand-holding, no kissing, like none of that. The Hebrew word for it is shomanegia. The cool kids call it shoms, and my teachers all called it shh. In my secondary school, I did biology A-level, and we got to a week before study leave, and we were yet to cover this essential piece of the national curriculum. Still wasn't done. And the school began to panic, because if there's one thing a faith school hates more than exposing their daughters to the outside world, it's, of course, poor exam results, isn't it? We all know that. And they thought they had to do something to tackle this. So naturally, they didn't turn to the head of science to teach us this very important lesson. But guess who? The gym teacher. That would have been good. I'd have learned a lot from the gym teacher. Certainly, I'd be a lot better when I bought stuff from IKEA. In this case, no, it was the head of religious education. Just to make sure we learn things properly. So I'm going to share with you now how we were taught the facts of life, the birds and the bees, by our head of religious education. And because I've come a really long way, I'm going to do it with proper acting. I think you deserve it. You've been so nice. So I'm going to do it with genuine acting. I'm going to become... I should just warn you, actually, that I don't want to offend anyone. If I say any rude words or anything you don't understand, just ask an adult nearby and they'll explain it to you. This may come as a shock to some people. But I'm going to become our head of religious education, who shall remain nameless, Mrs. Simons. Girls, The husband comes home from Bible study, or work if he must. The wife is wearing a special brooch so that he knows she is available to him. She has made a lovely dinner, and 9 months later they have a baby. Good luck in your exams. That's literally it. That's literally it. It's horrifying, isn't it? It's horrifying. In fact, I wish I'd written that myself and not just copied it into my biology textbook. And it was no help to us whatsoever, because when it came to the exam, we had to label a diagram of a testicle, and I could not find the brooch anywhere on that piece of paper. And it didn't help us with family planning, because she never told us what they had for dinner. And I had 2 kids before I found out you could take the brooch off. True fact. Joe, you've been absolutely gorgeous. It's been a treat. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm Rachel Creeger.
Rachel Creeger. There we go.